Slaves of the 21st century. Today as always, men fall into two groups, slaves and free men. Whoever does not have 2/3 of his day for himself, is a slave, whatever he may be, a statesman, a businessman, an official, or a scholar. Was said by Friedrich Nietzsche. Slaves of the 21st century refer to institutional slavery that continues to occur in present-day society. This is crazy. Modern slavery is a multi-billion-dollar industry generating $150 billion annually. The Global Slavery Index estimated that roughly 40.3 million individuals are currently caught in modern slavery, with 71% of those being female, and 1 in 4 being children. You know what? Modern slavery occurs when a person is under the control of another person who applies force to maintain control, and the goal of that control is exploitation. Let's face it, modern slavery is often seen as a byproduct of poverty. You might be wondering what are its causes in today's time. People do not enslave people to be mean to them, they do it to make a profit. In modern slavery, people are easier to get at a lower price. Tens of thousands toil in slave-like conditions in industries such as mining, farming, and factories, producing goods for domestic consumption or export to more prosperous nations. Want to know the worst part? The different types of slavery exist even in 2023. Let's start with the most common type of slavery in modern times. And I do fall into this category. Poor me. Here is the kicker. Wage slavery. Wage slavery refers to a person's dependence on wages for their livelihood, especially when wages are low, treatment and conditions are poor, and there are few chances of upward mobility. In fact, being a wage slave means you are stuck doing a job solely for the money. You can't quit because leaving would have terrible consequences for you and your family. Let's take an example of my friend who did his high schooling at one of the most prestigious colleges that run in several countries around the world, St. Xavier's College, and did his bachelor's degree in electrical engineering and master's in energy system planning and management engineering. He is currently working as an engineer in an outsourcing company. His wage when he started his job back in March 2021 was $1.30 per hour. Currently, after working for 2 years and 1 month for the company, his wage is $2.25 per hour as of April 2023. If that is not slavery, then I don't know what is. It's simple. Most of the time we think the worst thing that an employer can do is fire you, but let me assure you, that's not the worst thing they can do. Do you want to know what's the worst thing they can do to you? They can make you work for them for the rest of your life by keeping you poor, only paying an amount so that you are neither alive nor dead. Your basic needs are getting fulfilled and that's it. There is a beautiful quote, which states, "A sheep spends its entire life fearing the wolves, only to be eaten by the shepherd in the end." Jumping on to the second one, government-forced slavery in North Korea. The government forces many people to work for the state, both inside and outside North Korea itself, sometimes for many years. The 2018 Global Slavery Index estimated that 2.8 million people were slaves in the country. Did you know that, as per the International Labor Organization, over 40 million people are in some form of slavery today? 24.9 million people are in forced labor, of whom 16 million are exploited in the private sector such as domestic work, construction or agriculture, 4.8 million in forced sexual exploitation, and 4 million in forced labor imposed by state authorities. In fact, there is forced migrant slavery in UAE. Foreign workers are exploited and more or less enslaved. Allegations of forced migrant labor have been highlighted within the preparations of stadiums for the Qatar FIFA 2022 World Cup. There have been over 6,500 recorded migrant deaths during the construction of the stadiums, and that leads us to sex slavery. Forced prostitution is the form of slavery most often encountered in wealthy regions such as the United States, Western Europe, and the Middle East. But stay with me. There is another one occupation. In addition to sex slavery, modern slaves are often forced to work in certain occupations. Common occupations include fishing, mining, and farming. Let's talk about the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on modern-day slavery. Let's face the truth, the rapid increase in demand for clothes and other accessories has led some companies to use the pandemic as an excuse to exploit vulnerable workers, even forcing them to work through the pandemic, putting them at risk of contracting the disease. Here is the fact. The top 5 imported products currently at risk of modern slavery in the United States are electronics, garments, fish, cocoa, and timber. Believe it or not, India, China, Pakistan, North Korea, Nigeria, Iran, Indonesia, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Russia, and the Philippines account for 60% of people living in modern slavery and over half the world's population. As you can see, slavery can exist in every stage of the supply chain, from harvesting or extracting raw materials, such as cocoa or cotton, to manufacturing and shipping. The reality of this is children are forced to mine cobalt for use in the latest mobile phones, or women are forced to produce coffee for one of our best-known brands. So, what could be the solution to this slavery? Here is something we both must agree on. Modern slaves are not in chains, they are in debts. So, our first steps need to be to get out of debt. Leave below our means. Save money. Start our own business no matter how small it may be. Work for your own business. Build your own dream before you die building the dreams of others. Bottom line. If you're getting paid to do something you like doing, that's great. You have a dream job. Enjoy.